Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through Benji at alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show solely due to the love and support that you all continue to show. We're available across all major podcast distributors, and like I mentioned, people, if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are delighted to showcase this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have the impressive Archie Morris III. Now, we're going to be discussing his incredible book, Up From Slavery, An Unfinished Journey. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, but man, you got to check out his personal site, okay? ArchieMorrisBooks.com. There, you're going to gather more information on him. On this book, you're going to find another book that he has written that is also available. Man, listen, it's a one-stop shop, all right? Again, that's ArchieMorrisBooks.com. And people, listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Archie here on the line. Imagine a public school deep in the heart of segregated Washington, D.C., where 80% of the graduates, black students from all income levels, went to college at a time when most white Americans couldn't even dream of it. Now, imagine that this blueprint for excellence has been virtually ignored for decades. Well, today we're uncovering that lost blueprint, okay? Archie's book it's called Up From Slavery, An Unfinished Journey, and we're diving into why this history was buried and whether we can finally dig it up to save our schools today. Sit back, strap in, and get ready, man. Here we go. Archie, first and foremost, welcome to the network, and thank you very much for being a guest with us, brother. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, thank you.
Archie, listen, it is a pleasure to have you here, man. Okay, your book and the history that it discusses, listen, man, I think it's something that not a lot of people are familiar with. And I told you on the pre-screening call my journey with learning about African-American history and being able to finally take an African-American history course and learn about all of these figures, some of which in slavery, like Nat Turner, but also individuals, man, like Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, so many larger than life figures that were true pinnacles in this community. It brought such a sense of pride, such a sense of accomplishment. And when my team and I were doing our research in preparation for today's discussion, I felt that same sense of pride once again, right? The history of this institution that you are showcasing for us is something that I believe is very important to know. So I want to take the opportunity and I want to thank you again for comprising this book, but even more importantly, thank you again for being here with us to discuss it all. Now let's jump right in, man. First and foremost, Archie, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Well, I was born and raised in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Lived in most areas. Attended school there. Started from elementary through middle, which we called junior high in those days. And then I went to Dunbar. Went to service and then came out and went to Howard. Got a couple of degrees there. Worked in government for about 30 years, about 4 years of which were in the Air Force. Then sort of got into private and nonprofits. And then into college teaching. And now I'm retired. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm supposed to be an author. I got the chance to finish this book, which I've been thinking about for years and working on.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you do, basically. You look at things, you hear things, you read them, then it comes together and you get time, you sit down and write it. That's essentially what started the whole process.
I love it. Well, listen, let's jump a little bit more into that process. Okay, tell us more about your book, Up from Slavery, An Unfinished Journey. Give us a brief synopsis so we know what to expect when we head on over and pick it up.
I think what you'll expect, what you'll get, is a lot of information you never knew about. Because nobody's done much research on Dunbar. Tom Sowell did a study for a week and came up with an excellent article. There was a book written earlier about it. Mary Hundley, one of the teachers at Dunbar. And that's pretty much it. Most of the information, the sources, you'll find come from ordinary people talking about the old days. In my case, my family attended Dunbar. My grandmother was in the early 1900s, went to Dunbar. And she didn't graduate. What happened was instead she transferred to Howard University and taught music until she got married. And then she, of course, quit because in those days, married women didn't work. There's a lot of information that people don't know about the things that we went through and how much it's very similar to the same problems we have today. Underfunding. The only big difference is we had segregation as overriding for the whole time. And in many instances, they were always trying to convert Dunbar from a college preparatory to a general or manual arts. Because they didn't figure black people need to go to school. And they definitely weren't going to college.
Okay, well, listen, Archie, let's stay here for a second. Let's talk about that for a moment, okay? Why do you think that is? Why isn't the history of Dunbar much more represented with regards to our history? Why do you believe it has been so hidden?
I've wondered about that for years. As you said, when you talk about black history, you talk about slavery. Not everybody was a slave in those days. And some blacks did quite well. James Fortas in the 1700s was one of the richest men in the New World. He was black. Basically, we always emphasize slavery and sort of neglect to look at it. I guess the good reason is we didn't write our own history. We left it to others. And we only remember personal experiences which had some impact. And if you were doing well as a black person, you kept it to yourself. You didn't broadcast it. But we just didn't focus on our own history. And today we're doing it even less.
Archie, man, listen, I think you're touching on something very important there, man, right? Like I can't remember the exact quote verbatim, right? So I know it's something along the line, I'm paraphrasing. I know it's something along the lines of, if you don't take the opportunity to write your history, someone else is going to do it for you. And that is unfortunately what we have seen transpire. And that's going to lead to my follow-up now, right? Because, listen, man, it's undeniable. Your book's title, Up from Slavery, is a powerful echo of an individual who did take the opportunity to write his story. And of course, I'm talking about Booker T. Washington and his autobiography, also entitled Up from Slavery. Well, I'm curious here, Archie, in what ways does the Dunbar story represent possibly a different path up than the one Washington advocated for? And also, in what ways does it align with another individual who I also mentioned earlier in the interview, W.E.B. Du Bois's concept of the talented tenth?
It's interesting. Dunbar is a lot like Booker T. Washington. in terms of the view of life in the United States. Du Bois, on the other hand, was very interested in Dunbar. At one point applied for principal and was denied. And I think Dr. Cooper caught some flack because she had dealings with him and involvement in educational matters. But basically, they wrote about their life, their lifestyle. They didn't look at history the way some people, such as historians in general, look to the past, verify and justify what they see, and try to make some sense of the apply to today's progress or lack thereof. At Dunbar, we treated that history as something that was an everyday thing for us. We had classes in it, but we treated it more like the study of any other of another country or something. And we found one of the things was that black schools did not have courses in black history, but sometimes white schools did, more so than blacks.
People, remember, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, most importantly, ArchieMorrisBooks.com. Purchase your copies of Up From Slavery, An Unfinished Journey today, and while you're at it, make sure to check out the other book that is also available through his website. Fantastic educations that you're going to want to add to your shelf, you're going to want to check out, and you're not going to be able to put down, okay? Archie, my follow-up question now that I want to go into is, listen, man, if we wanted to set up a roadmap to get back to that Dunbar model, what do you see as the biggest obstacle, as the biggest impediment to implementing its core principles in a modern inner city public school or institution?
I'm not really sure, think about it, and we're not doing anything different, but we had a different attitude. Was the community saw education as a responsibility. A child had a job. His job was to go to school, get good grades, and stay out of trouble. Today, we don't value education anymore. That's a big problem there. Dunbar had three things that made it a great school, an institution. One was a top-flight faculty. And the reason for that was they had no other options. Two was the curriculum. The curriculum at Dunbar rivals that of four-year college institutions today. And the last thing was the students. The students were highly motivated and had their own idea of what was important and what was not. And they strived to do better and to exceed the expectations of the previous generation. And the interesting thing is they came from all socioeconomic levels. We had very few, they talk about it, Dunbar, everybody's father was doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. There weren't that many in the country, period, much less at Dunbar, maybe 6%. 30% of the school had came from families that had an income that was about half the median income in the country. So poverty is not a reason to not learn and to achieve excellence in education. Today, that's one of the biggest excuses for not working with children.
Listen, Archie, man, this is such a nuanced conversation, and I'm so delighted that we've had you here to discuss even this portion of it. My final question here for you. Your book, again, man, listen, it is valuable in so many areas. It's both historical and even a potential policy proposal, right? But on a human level, Archie, I want to ask, man, what did you personally learn from the Dunbar story that you weren't expecting prior to embarking upon that journey in writing this book?
I can't say there was much I was not expecting because over the years I lived a whole lifestyle. My family went to Dunbar. I went to Dunbar. We talked about it. I mean, my grandmother used to tell me about our cousin in the army. I never thought about it much. My uncle told me about our cousin who was a sociologist in Chicago. You know who they were? Benny Davis Sr. and Allison Davis, who taught in Chicago. Davis, of course, was the first black general in the United States Army. And Allison was the first teacher attended at a major white institution. But they were people that influenced us, that we knew about every day. And we took it for granted that people were going to be successful in education, even if they couldn't get a job. But you always tried hard. They used to be told what was that if you want to get the same thing a white boy has, you have to work 10 times as hard to get it. We took that to heart. And if you'll notice, Dunbar students not only succeed in going on further in their education, 80% went to college. They also succeeded in their work fields when they complete their educations. That's why we had so many notable people in just about every field you can think of. But that was an everyday thing. I never met a person in the school who couldn't read. Now we have people graduating from high school who can't read. It's ridiculous.
Archie, listen, man, you're hitting up on some things, okay? And now is not the time for the discussion. I'm going to close out, man. I'm just going to say, people, this is a wonderful book that shows an institution that defied the odds for nearly a century. You know where you got to go, man. I'm going to say it for you again, even though it's been there on the screen. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's archiemorrisbooks.com. Head on over there, purchase your copies today, and let the education begin. And then, more importantly, let the discussions ensue. Because, listen, I think for me, the way I view this, once we start talking about it, we raise our awareness to it. And when that happens, we can start to have a snowball effect of momentum. And that, man, that's what really makes me excited. Pick up the book, start that journey, start conversing. And man, let's see what the future can hold for all of us, man. I'm excited, but it starts with this book. Archie, this has been an absolute pleasure, man, and such an honor. I really do mean that. Keep up the fantastic work, and once again, thank you for being a guest through People of Distinction.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.